ruin it. The community, they just need to wisen up. If you spend time and get a bit of experience and realize, okay, crap, there are ways to actually deal with these annoying gimmicks and things like after image, you know, body key spams and things like that. Blink to it. It's not hard, is it? This is what I'm saying to you.
That was nuts.
People complain about simple things in the game, bro. Yeah, if you're close to me, I can just blink it by holding it right now. With no effort. No effort at all. Ah, I was blocking. Oh, even though I blocked, I still dodged it. You know what I mean? It's not that hard. Most of the time, like obviously in any circumstances, sometimes they're gonna hit. But majority of the times you can escape it with simple strategies, bro. I'm not even trying to avoid it. There's no effort in my hands at all. Where they're using it like that, they're flying like down. They're gonna get punished. It's not broken. You lot are just shit. I'll be honest with you lot, bro. Like, it's not broken at all, man. You lot are complaining over dumb shit right now. Yeah, keep doing that shit. I would suggest just learning these basic things, and once you do learn it, how to deal with certain gimmicks and things like that, you are going to realize that these aren't that bad, you know, and it's just players overreacting that haven't put that much time in. And just to prove how much time I put in the game anyways, because people are thinking, oh, I don't run into these characters. I put 533 hours of playtime in this game. I can guarantee that's a lot more than most players that are complaining, and they're saying, oh yeah, I'll stop playing the game because it's too broken, it's too much cheese, etc. I'm finding it fine, and these are my characters I use. You know what I mean, innit? Nothing's cheese about them, but yet I'm able to deal with the metal. Now, I don't know if you come across this document, but I believe a few known people in the community covering Sparking Zero content when it first came out, explaining what they think is broken in the game and what needs fixing. My job, what I'm going to do right now, is actually dissect things what people believe are broken, because I'll be honest with you, most of it is actually skill issue, and I've got a lot of evidence to back up and prove it. So we're going to just go through a lot of the things right now. Bear in mind, they said that needs immediate attention. That means that they believe it's broken, right? And immediate attention means they don't want to deal with this anymore, right? Because they think it's an issue in the game. So if opponents disconnects, okay, we agree with that, but I'm just going to go over the points I don't agree with. So adjust super counter cooldown. Okay, so let's get right to the point. Now, so to compare this with TANKdGAMER 3, bear this in mind, TANKdGAMER 3 wasn't originally an online game. It only got ported to the Wii version to then have online implementations into the game, but originally it was a LAN game. That meant that your friend would be probably sitting next to you on your couch with the same sort of input delay as yourself, and therefore when the game is running, you could be corresponding accurately. But when it comes to online features, and you know that you have a ping signal that might be strong on your side and your enemy has a weaker one, it becomes an unfair advantage, saying that we're going to make the frame tighter for super counters, so the person with the better ping is probably going to be the one at the better receiving end. So to say that, okay, cool, this needs to be like TANKdGAMER 3 and it needs to be hard to pull off and things like that, isn't the best interest of the player base, because at the end of the day, you're going to have people moaning about, oh yeah, how is my opponent pulling off all these super counters and I can't do one? Trust me, it's going to end up that way. So you don't really want to be changing things too much drastically, because it's not going to be in the best interest of the players. So by adjusting the cooldown on failed super counters being pulled off online, you'll realise it becomes more of a hindrance than a tool of advantage to use. And the reason why I say this, there's a few factors that come into place. One, it being an online game means that delayed inputs may unfortunately give you a disadvantage, meaning that you might miss frames even though you got them perfectly. Two, there are no indicators in the game to even inform you that you've actually failed, so therefore you're still going to be mashing anyways, waiting for you to get off, realising you just took 30-40,000 damage off a back shot hit because you couldn't get out of them because you was too busy trying to get your super counters off. And three,
you have no proof to actually even say the players that are using it effectively right now are the ones mashing. Because yeah, at the end of the day, you're not sitting next to them. You're not studying their controller inputs at all, are you? You're just assuming that they're mashing it because they're getting off frequently on you. So there are no factors even to say that it actually needs a cooldown to improve the game's flow of things. It just means that you lot need to know how to deal with super counters more effectively and not being caught in their trap more times. And that by being less predictable with your inputs and your attacks. If you're going for a 3-4 string combo, the players are going to gradually clock on.
Now, if people are just smashing it, that means that you must be triggering a response for them to want to do that in the first place. For example, if you're attacking them continuously back to back, they're going to read your movement, and once they read your movement, they're going to think, yeah, cool, he's attacking me in a combo still, let me try super counter right now. But if you was able to fake out your opponents, teleport on the side, things like that, it would switch around the gameplay and people would be whiffing punches, because bear in mind, super counter is forward square, that's an attack forward. That means they'll be whiffing a lot more and you'll be finding a lot more openings to attack. So I don't understand why people are saying that people are just mashing the portal of super counters.
I can't get a super counter.
You're mashing in the first place. If you're continually just running through doing combos and combos and combos, not thinking that your opponent's going to counter you, you're literally putting yourself in a situation where you can be countered back, right? It's a skill issue. If you learn to be able to adapt and read your opponent's movements before they are even inputting them in, you can literally make your opponent respond to you in a certain way and respect your decisions. If you're making sure that you're doing side steps, you're doing evasives and things like that, they're not going to be expecting, okay, I can't super counter this person's all over the place, let me try use perception instead, let me try block instead, because I can't get around his movements. Like, super counting is too risky because I'm not getting them off. So I don't think it needs to extend the cooldown. We already know that the netcode is going to be great when it comes down to you going to play people, whether overseas or even your neighbor. Sometimes you're versing a 5-bar and the signal's just trash. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, bro. Whether they're using Wi-Fi or the netcode just, I don't know, just responds a bit weird in Sparking Zero. I've had my issues, right, where I can't even vanish in some of the matches. Bro, you're so jank it is, bro. It's like a fucking day late. So imagine them saying, alright, cool, you're going to get punished for your cooldown because the netcode isn't working well for you. So therefore, people are just going to stop using super counters in general and just going to be like, alright, cool, I'm just going to try block and use perception, because super counters don't work ever. You need to be able to kind of sidestep your opponent, vanish behind them, you know what I mean? Hit them with pokes, use key blast, because you can't super counter a key blast, can you? You know what I mean, innit? So a lot of people are hyping this thing up too much when there's so many ways to punish it. Super counters should be a lot faster so as to make avoiding them more skillful. Again, like I said about the netcode, I mean, we have issues already when it comes down to online signals. I don't know who these players have been first, and if they've just been playing their brothers in the same room or whatnot, or they've been playing the next door neighbors, you know, or even they've got a small community and they just play each other. But when you are playing online, especially, you know, people you don't know, there's going to be issues where the netcode just ain't responsive as much as you'd like it to be. So imagine you're going online and you're normally good at super counters. I've got the title Super Counter Master on my title card, innit?
Now, I know it don't mean much, but it means to me that I'm confident at pulling them off, right?
And sometimes I can't pull them off at all. And other times I can pull off 10 in a row. You know what I mean? So if I'm able to do 10 in a row, but then some matches I can't do it at all, you don't want to be saying, oh yeah, cool, yes, make the input fast, or yes, make the response fast, because it's already an issue when it comes down to like people's netcode. Super counters should be accessible during C counters, and I do agree with that. I think that would be pretty cool. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. I do like the idea that obviously if you're low on key and you can save yourself by using super counters if you're able to use it. Remove voice lines for the after image strike vanish and make it limited. You want to know all these cues every time your person is vanishing and it's got after image active. We haven't got a timer to say when after image ends, right? So we want to know, okay, cool, is he still using it? Is he still using it? I have to play on guard still. I have to play on, you know what I mean, innit? Don't take that off, no. That's a terrible idea. Make Z counter chains quicker. Z counter should take more key to perform. Now, I'd like the idea on paper, it sounds good, but again with the netcode, you can't vanish all the time at some matches. You be pressing it on time, you're thinking, why the hell can't I vanish? Now, if you're telling me you want to adjust it on an online scene and the netcode is wonky and you've got to keep up with that pace, and right now you're in a habit of thinking, okay, this is the timing down and you want to change it. You know, I like it on paper, it sounds brilliant. For this game is based on response. So if your response for online occurrence is ruined because of laggy matches, you won't be happy. You will not be playing this game. You will not enjoy going into Z counters at all because you won't be controlling it.
Let's be realistic with this. There is delay inputs in the game. There are lag spikes as well. So when you're playing a game and you're in a Z Vanish War and the tempo is speeding up, you're confident you're pressing the button on time, what you see on screen, but the ping signal where it's sending to your opponent isn't accurate, right? So therefore, what's happening right now is you've lost the Vanish War just because of the signal that you're getting from your opponent isn't the same as what you've been pressing, right? And now you're in a combo and now your opponent's just killed you. So therefore, it's like one of those ones where a stable Vanish War is going to be more susceptible in an online environment because you can be consistent with how fast you're pressing the button, so you can make sure, okay, cool, this was the rhythm I had down, so I know I was guaranteed to win.
And perceptions for standard controls, while in perception stance, the guard input can be spammed to break throws. Please remove this.
Now, before I defend this and talk about why this isn't broken, I actually want to elaborate on the mechanic itself. Now, this mechanic is able to allow you to be able to avoid key spams, and at the same time perception a super while they do fire at you. So when you're getting key spam and then they throw a super at you or something like that, it even allows you to do from going into the block into a sonic straight immediately. So this is the mechanic that needs to be in the game for you to be able to have a good survivability, since your opponents can switch up their attacks immediately on you. By taking this off, you're soon to realize it gives the game more of a clunkier experience. For example, if you're in a perception stance and your opponent is attacking you with key blast, there won't be anything you can do because you won't be able to press the block button in time.
I understand why they're saying it, because it could be a thing where people are just using a method to kind of just get out of things real quickly, but you can punish that. You know, for example, if someone's doing that, hit them with a super. You know, I don't know if you're aware, but perception can be released instantly. Guard cannot be released instant. Guard takes literally a half a second or a second for it to launch. But with perception, that's instant. You want that to function properly, because at the end of the day, you might have to use a vanish. So while you're getting, while you're using a perception, you might have to just vanish a move instantly, right? If you're telling me you're gonna nerf that, that means as soon as you press perception, you have to literally own up to it. And at the end of the day, that doesn't work well in this environment, in this game. This game's way too fast to be relying on, things like that. Like I said to you, fair enough, you may not be able to grab your opponent. You can heavy smash them. There are openings, a lot of openings you can use to actually hit your opponent. Like, it's just stupid to say, yeah, you want to nerf this. For example, it would be terrible to just use a rush attack. Using a rush attack here, you're probably going to get perception, right? Because they counter rush attacks. But by using a smash attack, using a key blast, you're good, you know what I mean? Because the opponent's most likely not going to be able to block it, and supers, they're not going to be able to block that either. So no, don't change that. That's going to be a bad input in the game. The unguardable Z dash burst that giants have should be able to hit multiple times for quick succession. There are ways around it. You can teleport the giants, you can super counter the giants. There are guarding techniques you can use against them, but obviously when they hit you in that move and you just stunning is a bit annoying. But you can teleport it, so there are winners to teleport it, but it can be pretty tight, so they may need to kind of alter something a little bit, I'd say. But I mean, I'm not complaining. I've fought a lot of giants before. I haven't felt that much of an issue with them. Cats with innate super armor have double super armor after entering sparking mode. This is overbearing on characters lower than 6 DP who also lack an instant sparking skill, as they have no way to outside of sparking to stagger them anymore. I mean, you could do a lift strike. If you press square, forward triangle instantly, you can do a lift strike and then they'll be staggered anyways, once you hit them up high. Good way to deal with giants as well is if you get behind them and you're attacking them from behind, they take a bit slower to move around than other characters, so there are great opportunities for you to do that for them as well. So I don't technically think, obviously, nerfing that idea, saying, because I haven't had an issue with giants anyways in sparking, and I use characters that are DP level 5s. I use base Goku, I use Goku Black, and I use Vegeta as well. Sometimes I do transform with them to kind of put the pressure more on the giants, but then I think that's just a player choice. It really comes down to the game, like what team are you picking? Are you picking characters prepared for giants, or are you picking characters that are going to have a hard time? It's one of those things you've got to kind of think about. Like, are you going for a balanced team that's going to help you prepare for every situation, or are you going with a team that are generally weak?
Every piece plays their part. So if you go into a battle with probably all 2 DP characters and you've got to go up against a giant, you've got to bear that in mind, that it's going to be harder for you to tackle on these opponents, because these characters aren't built to be taken on these opponents. If you're taking on a 2 DP, it means, yes, you have more players that can deal with a larger character, but giants against a character that has 10 DP is going to be great at all anyway. So therefore, that's what I'm saying to you. You need to make sure that your team composition fits the means of how you're playing the game. So for example, if you're going to the match, you need to prepare yourself and think, okay, cool, I need to make sure I've got a character that can take care of a hard hitter, and I've got all these small minions that can kind of be fodder to my opponent, but at the same time there's more than for them to deal with, so it could be a lot more pressure on them, you know what I'm saying?
So I don't necessarily think you need to change that. Maybe you just need better options on what characters you actually want to choose, and you know, you can deal with it that way. Because like I said, I don't have an issue with my team. I use transforming characters, which actually helps me deal with pretty much every situation. But bearing in mind, that means I am limited to only 3 characters at that point as well. So it's each to their own. Add a key blast cooldown after launching a certain amount of key blasts. I'm 50-50 with that. I don't think it really needs it, because again, you can counter them, you know, just volley them all and stuff like that, and then use revenge counters to get close to your opponent to stop them from doing that. And at the end of the day, they're wasting key anyway, so you know, it's a benefit for you if they're just spamming it, you know, at the end of the day, really. You know, if you can't deal with it, use revenge counter, get up in their face, make them stop doing it, you know, done. Make revenge counters set both players to neutral. Neutral means that both players are in standing position without any advantages, disadvantages that allow them to work. Revenge counters using it from behind would be more annoying than super counters. I'm telling you this. Super counters you have to work to actually try to get off, right? And you can counter it. Revenge counters, I mean, again, you can punish it, but it means that you have to waste a stock just for the sake of them doing that, and then people are going to complain about that eventually. They're going to be like, this guy has 6 skill stocks, and he switches out his character and he has another 6 skill stocks, and he just keeps doing revenge counters. I have no skill, you know what I mean? It'll just get annoying, I'm telling you, because you can pull it off with ease, right? You just press R3 if that's the case. So, but I do feel super counters does a good enough job if you get good with that mechanic in the first place. And at the same time, if you work the effort to turn your opponent around as well, I don't see why you shouldn't benefit from doing so, because what would be the point of turning them around? Technically, would it just be more of an aesthetic? If they can still revenge counter you, they can still super counter you. Like, the only thing they probably couldn't do is the perception, but they're in a combo anyways. Android 19 and 20 need to lose key for dragon dashing. The ascent up and down thing isn't too broken. I don't use androids myself, but I just wanted to showcase this for you guys, claiming that this is broken in the game, right? Shit, yeah. Yeah, just keep pressing L2, yeah. That's literally it. But then throw that super. I get hit. Yeah, exactly. You get hit out of doing that. So regardless of saying this is broken, this actually doesn't do anything for you. Like, fair enough, you're going to be able to fly around like this like an idiot. But you're going to get hit. You're literally a flying target. It's not broken. It doesn't need key. This doesn't do anything. The only thing this does is buy the android a bit of time to run around for you to be able to chase after them. Obviously, it's a bit hard for you to track them if you chase around them like an idiot yourself. If you're flying after them like an idiot, like chase after me like this. Yeah. If you're flying like me like this, it's going to be wasting your time, innit? You know, unless you get into something like that, obviously, innit? The fact that this is what drains key, but this is what actually dodges supers, means that this is actually worthless. You know, this is the only thing it's doing is wasting time. But again, like I said to you, if you've got moves where you can just use fireballs at your opponents, super and stuff, you're pretty much just going to kill them one shot. The only people that can't really do it are androids that haven't got good, they can't charge key. But overall, when you're playing against a character that is an android that can actually charge key, you're at an advantage. You're not at a disadvantage just because they don't take key from using that stupid move. Because again, you can't really do much. The only thing you're getting stopped from is melee attacks and stuff. But other than that, it's pretty shit. I'll tell you that straight.
Can melee me?
Whole idea is you want to catch them off guard. So as soon as they're doing stupid shit, and you know they're going to do stupid shit, you know what I mean? And most of the time when you hit them, they fly down, and you think, okay, cool, you're in my face. You know what I mean? They're just gonna, people are gonna fuck themselves up because they're not having full control in this motion. This motion here right now is too unpredictable for the players that's using it. So where they're using it like that, they're flying like down, they're gonna get punished. It's not broken. You lot are just shit. I'll be honest with you lot, bro. Like, it's not broken at all, man. You lot are complaining over dumb shit right now. But you can still catch them with the androids or another character that uses it. And the issue with people are saying is, oh, but it's hard to hit them. But it's really not. You just have to play the mind games with them and get them better at how they get you. You know what I mean? If they're predictable and they're flying up, And you know what I mean, you stay out of their sight and you aim with something to hit them and they're going to get hit with a super, trust me. Now they were saying that obviously they're broken because it doesn't drain ki. The reason why it shouldn't drain ki, because for example they can't charge ki. You know what I mean? Look, I'm pressing the charge button, they ain't charging ki for nothing. They don't gain ki over time either. They literally will do short dashes and spend ki. So if they are spending ki using short dashes, they're spending ki doing that, when it comes down to you being close quarters with them, they ain't gaining nothing. Hence the reason why they have to come up to you and absorb you all the time, and you see them always doing that crap. Now that's very easy to tech. They're mostly going to hit you with the combos and then press R1, you know, square in the middle of it as well, just to grab you, right? Now, if you're an adequate player, then you're going to know to tech it easy, especially when you're blocking, right? So ideally, just don't get caught with the grabs. And they are going to be then having to rely on this to even keep up with pace with you, because you're going to be a character that's overpowered, that's going to be able to charge ki up at any time. You can be able to inflict damage. For example, a character like Vegeta, he can transform in mid-battle, means that his energy output is going to be a lot more expendable when it comes down to his damage, and his defense is going to be boosted up. Now another thing they complained about was obviously these things here like finish sign and false courage and stuff like that. Now I'm not really a big fan of those. I'm not here to defend. I don't even know which one does it. I think false courage is one where it gives them super armor. They're saying that obviously the window's too short, so they keep spamming it. I do admit they do spam it a lot, bro, but if you're an adequate player, like I said, you can easily get behind them, hit them with a lot of short burst hits and stuff like that, and they're going to flinch eventually.
That's not one in. My bad.
Yeah, so as you can see, he's got super armor on right now, but you get stunned on the last hit. So for example, while the androids are fighting you, also you got to be more prepared than your opponent is. So try attack me. There you go. You can stun them easily. You can get around your opponents the same way. So if you're in a situation and where you're trying to get the advantage, you're trying to get the win, flank around them. That super armor isn't impenetrable. You can't, you know what I mean? They are going to be punished if you're able to sidestep them, if you're able to get around them. This guy's just abusing me right now.
Do you charge attack?
I charged attack. Yeah, you're not
Is that charged? That's quick.
Yeah, but it's just, yeah, it's charged attack. It's not
Yeah, it
full
goes
charge.
through super armor.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes through super armor in this game. So, you know what I mean? Saying that goes through super armor. You know, just step. It's very easy to deal with text like this, bro. You literally just got to be better than your opponent. If you're not better than your opponent, it's a skill issue. It's not the game's broken, bro. It's literally you're struggling to deal with your opponents. The only thing I reckon it would save you with is probably Ki Blast. So you wouldn't be able to Ki Blast spam them in that scenario. So it'd save you from that. But if you're using...
I still take the damage though.
Yeah, you still take damage. But if you're using something like After Image Strike against that, you're going to beat out androids easily. So there's a lot of characters that can beat out androids anyways. So you lot saying that androids are the problem right now, they're the bane of this game, they need to be nerfed. There's so much other characters that can beat them with no issue. Whole of the community are glazing saying this is broken and they shouldn't be able to do this and things like that. Why not? You don't. Why not? How is that broken for them? That's the only thing I really think that's actually good going for them, is they don't spend ki doing things like this. You know what I mean? Their survivability is up there. But if you catch up with them and you hit them with a fireball, they're going to take the hit regardless. You know what I mean? Let them have what they have, bro. And let the Saiyans have what they have. They can transform. You know what I mean, innit? And like I said, I'm not defending them saying I'm Andrew player, because I'm not. You know, I just play against these characters and I know how to deal with them. And I'm not complaining about them at all. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any reason to complain about these characters. Like, check it here. So, Provision C's 1. I don't play as them. I don't play as them. I don't play as them. None of these characters are players. See, none of them. You know, they're losing ki just by moving around. How much people do you think is going to use androids? That's going to be a terrible decision. You know what I mean? You can't even play as the character anymore because they're just losing ki for everything they do, and they can't gain ki properly. They have to literally fight to gain ki. That's a crazy idea to say for androids, bro. Nah. This is fine. It's not broken. You can punish it easily. You can throw supers at it. Alright, so broken. A characteristic game mechanic or object that are so powerful that they trivialize the game content or become the only desirable item or mechanics for a player to use. Why is it so powerful? It's not powerful. You can punish it. It's just, you know, they're moving around, bro. What are they doing to you in that space of time? They're literally an open target. Describing any combination of character, class, mechanics, and equipment which is too difficult or impossible for skilled players to be reliably counter in player versus player combat. I can deal with it fine. The people that can't deal with it, people that don't know how to deal with it, they're the ones just standing there thinking, what am I doing? Or the ones that's trying to chase after the opponent. I just think it's dumb, innit? Like, you see the person flying up and down and whatnot. and you're trying to chase after him, falling after him, bear in mind, no, this guy can do it forever. Just throw a fireball at him, bro. They ain't got great combos. They can't gain ki naturally like everyone else does. They have to absorb you with their energy to gain ki. And if you're putting pressure on them, you know what I mean, they ain't gonna get much for it, and they've got to reserve the ki as much as possible. No, like, I don't even use androids, but I feel for them. To nerf them, or people that do like playing these characters, is gonna make them redundant. Trust me, bro. People are just using them anyways, just because they think it's broken. That's the reason why people are using them, because they can drain ki, and people have a hard time dealing with characters like stealing their ki, and they think, oh my god, these guys are broken, bro, they're cracked. But when you can gain ki, you can switch out your characters, you can use a sensu beam, you can do whatever you want in that space of time. They ain't doing you no harm. Why you need to nerf him? Like, bro, I don't understand it, bro. You know what I mean? I think people are overhyping the scenario because they don't know how to deal with it. And this is what I'm saying to you. It's a skill issue. Most people think, oh crap, this is broken. How do I deal with it? And they chase after them like an idiot. Don't chase after them. Don't waste your time. The option to record CPU reaction, 100%. The reason why a lot of people have skill issues in the first place is because people that are educated enough in the game can't show properly how to deal with scenarios and situations that people get themselves into, and they say, oh, this is broken. If I could right now pull up the CPU and say, yo, this is what you're dealing with, this flying up and down thing, and show you that it's punishable, I would. But unfortunately, the game doesn't allow me to let the CPU do that. But I can only tell you from my experience, and maybe a clip or videos I maybe have it in my computer just to kind of show it to you guys. But it's a rare occurrence that I'm going to catch this on tape and be like, yeah, look, it's punishable. But I'm telling you, it's punishable. I wouldn't be on the defense saying this aren't broken, you know, when I'm experiencing the same things like everyone else is in the game. I don't play as androids, I play as Saiyans, but I'm not complaining. And that's what I'm saying to you, because there's so much things that people complain about and moan about that isn't broken. You know, but it's just a skill issue. People don't want to admit it. People are too, you know, they're too up in their own ego to admit that, okay, maybe I'm not doing something right, or maybe I'm not learning the game enough to understand how to deal with this scenario. The things I've noticed about people that are complaining about skill issues are people are saying, oh yeah, I stopped playing the game 2 weeks ago, or I put 100 hours in the game. I put 500 hours in the game. I'm still playing the game. I'm not complaining. But the people that are complaining are the ones that aren't playing the game. And this is a bit funny, innit? Because how are you sharing your opinion, telling me I'm the one who's wrong, saying, oh bro, you haven't gone across this person. Bro, like I said to you, we all play the same game, we've all run through the same characters, you know what I mean? Like I said, I mostly run through them more often than you guys have, and this is why I'm telling you I can deal with them, while most people are complaining they can't. But I'm just gonna get in a tantrum and I don't want to carry on. But yeah, here you have it. That's most of the stuff, the points that I've gone across, what I feel that are overhyped and exaggerated, and I feel that most of the time it's just players not knowing how to deal with scenarios and situations. They have made some great points, they have made some far-fetched points, and they have made points that shouldn't not even be close to being on this list. But yeah, I mean, but they did put their work in, so I'm not there to diss exactly what they're saying, but I'm really here to try to help implement the best functions for the game going forward. Again, like I said, I've been playing the game for 500 plus hours. I've experienced, I'm a good player in the game. I know how to deal with most people's issues that are complaining about. So I'm just pretty much giving my advice. A lot of the guys while watching this video right now could still have their opinion and say, no man, I think it's bad and it needs fixing and whatnot. But I kind of just showed you what needs fixing. Why is it bad if you can punish these sort of things? You know what I mean? Most people say in the community about super counters, androids, instant sparks. I can deal with it, all these pretty fine. And I think if anything, it brings a level of skill to the game where in the sense of you need to know how to deal with these sort of mechanics. If someone's going for instant spark, be in their face all the time. If they knock you back, use a revenge counter to get back in their face, things like that. You can utilize your tools to your advantage. And if they want to use the perception when you're using revenge counter, guess what? They've lost their skill count, and you know what I mean, innit? So I feel like a lot of the times most people are complaining is just because they don't know how to deal with most of the 6 scenarios and situations. And you know, it's one of those things where if you want to learn how to get better, spend a bit more time rather than complaining about it. Learn how to deal with it, and then, you know, it is what it is. But I still think they're going to nerf the game just because most of the community is crying out, and I think that's going to be a terrible place for where the game's going to go. Because just like Xenoverse 2, how it first started, Xenoverse 2 had a good back hit mechanic beforehand, but a lot of people complained about it, said, oh yeah, they're cool, they keep getting clipped by these back hits, and then they made invincibility frames. And invincibility frames, I'll be honest with you, is the most annoying thing they added into Xenoverse 2, because when it came down to it, people were able to dodge out most of your moves, especially when you was landing hits on them. They would just be able to vanish out and you'd get punished for it. Taking out great mechanics that are in Sparking Zero at this moment, and replacing it with dull mechanics, it's just going to destroy the game slowly, you know. So that's why I don't agree with nerfing all these things. I feel you don't need to adapt and learn how to deal with it first before you even talk about the ideas of nerfing and stuff. If it was like 5-6 months down the line, or maybe like 3-4 months, and people still can't get the hang of it, then perhaps. There's a lot of cheesy games out there. Sparking Zero isn't that bad. It's just the player base complaining because they were anticipating that this game would be the greatest game they've ever played, and it just probably isn't the game for you. It probably isn't the game you expected it to be. But it's a great game for the people that do love the game. Fair enough, people say, oh yeah, this needs to be more competitive or more balanced and things like that. But it is balanced. You just don't understand how to fight against these opponents. That's all it is. Every character plays different. No, well, not every character, but majority of characters play different. There's different archetypes in the game where you have to deal with them differently. For example, after image, you got to play more defensively when they use it after image strike against you. You can't just rush in and attack because you're going to get abused. You know, you need to be able to learn to counter them well. You need to learn how to use key blast accordingly. Don't use all your key up when you're fighting against these characters. With the androids, you need to know how to, okay, cool, they aren't going to regenerate ki. I need to be mindful of how they are using their abilities to move around me and things like that. If they are flying up and down like a waste man, you just throw a fireball at them. You know what I mean? Simple. There's giants. You need to know how, okay, if I'm fighting against giants, I need to know how to move behind them, attack them, hit them up in the sky, knock them back down, punish them. You know, with people that use instant spark, be in their face continuously all the time. If they're relying on instant spark, use revenge counters to get into them. There's so many ways to deal with these mechanics, and a lot of people will always complain and say, oh, these things are broken and things like that. But again, like I said, I play the same game as you guys, but I am not the one complaining. I'm here defending it. You know, and I defend it because I can see where the game is trying to go. It's just a lot of players don't understand it. But anyways, you already know what it is. LT, aka TANKdGAMER. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it. TANKdGAMER out. Boom!
Ways on the train, made games I can send you. Good for the pain. Cells they react, maybe go on stronger. System go lit like a TNT wick spot. If they be launched at me, then on guard. They need to retreat, they be beating the studio. Pizza, none of in the freezer. Heal up and cut like a rim cut Caesar. I'm send like a ruler. Once in a blue moon, go ape like a G. Don't you give a damn about what's living.
Yeah, keep doing that shit.